We got some more updates on the Shohei Ohtani and Juan Soto front. A deal does not seem imminent for either. However, the Blue Jays remain to be fully immersed in these trade talks, in these free agent talks. So we'll break that down and much more on this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Now, the news just keeps on flowing here, Nick, and Blue Jay fans are going to be rioting, and they're going to be going crazy if the Toronto Blue Jays do not manage to land one of either Juan Soto or Shohei Ohtani. And at this point, it seems very likely. Now, Shohei Ohtani, we still don't know. There's still a lot of uncertainty on that front, and his camp is remaining as quiet as they can possibly be right now, and for good reason. They don't want any information leaked. They don't want to give away their hand, whether it be for leverage or anything else. They just don't want other people to know what's going on at this current moment in time, and that's okay. But the Blue Jays, if they don't manage to land Shohei Ohtani, I'm sure they're going to go all out for Juan Soto, because at this point, it's kind of been promised that we're getting one of the two, and the Jays didn't say that themselves, but all the reports that are coming out and just the fact that everyone knows how aggressive the Jays are being ahead of the winter meetings, it shows that something big is going to happen. And I don't think the Blue Jays front office is going to settle for a Cody Bellinger or anything like that. So this is good, and it's heading in the right direction here for the Jays.
Yeah, and today is the day that winter meetings commence, so we have a lot of updates. We'll be covering you and all that. Before we get into that, a quick reminder, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 11,000. About 70% of you guys aren't subscribed. Scroll down, see if you're subscribed. If you aren't, you're going to want to subscribe, because we have a lot of news that's going to be coming out over the next week. Now, Peter, we'll start with major Ohtani updates. Now, bear with me. There's a ton of screenshots here. Tons of stuff came out today from some reputable reporters, some non-reputable, or less reputable. But, Peter, it's seeming like Shohei Ohtani is likely to decide on a team within the next week, according to one source engaged with the top end of the free agent market. We also had a Bob Nightingale tweet essentially saying that it might take longer. So we have a lot of stuff to go over today. So, Peter, the meetings start today. Some were speculating that a decision would be made today. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Your prediction was always Tuesday or Wednesday. Mine was Monday. It's looking like more into the middle of next week is when Ohtani's market's going to be officially decided. Now, that has big implications, but when you're looking at the Blue Jays, this report dropped here by, I believe it was Bob Nightingale, saying Toronto is making it no secret they want Ohtani, and Ohtani is quietly reciprocating that interest, which is pretty big. And the Jays fan base is becoming awfully impatient, and they basically just talk about where their situation is. But he also says ultimately he thinks he goes to the Dodgers, but the Jays are making it very intriguing. Now, Peter, this got me a little bit excited. It is Bob Nightingale, but yeah. There's no secret. Ohtani is reciprocating interest to join the Toronto Blue Jays. The decision is not imminent. It's probably going to take a couple of more days. My guess is 3 to 4 before a decision is made, which puts a big stall on the free agents market. But what are your thoughts on this? The Jays are right in it. They're right in it, and I think they have a very, very good chance to land Ohtani at this point.
I think so too, but the one thing I'll disagree with is that we're not really getting impatient. We're more so nervous because the Blue Jays have never really been in this position, and this is uncharted territory for everyone. Yes, of course we want him to sign a deal, and we want it to get done just so this headache can be out of the way. But he's in line to sign the most lucrative contract, not only in MLB history, but in professional North American sports history. He's in line for $550, maybe even $600 million. That's serious dough, man. That is not something that gets ironed out within the span of 2 or 3 days. We all wanted it to happen by tomorrow. We all wanted it to happen by the time the winter meetings commenced. But this is huge for everybody involved, for Ohtani, for the Blue Jays, for the Dodgers, for the Texas Rangers, whoever is in these sweepstakes. This is huge for them. And it's not something that's just going to happen overnight. So we do have to be patient. I don't think we're growing impatient. We're just nervous because this is uncharted territory that no fan base has ever been in. We've never seen a megastar of this caliber hit free agency in Major League Baseball. And we've never seen the Blue Jays be involved in anyone even remotely in the stratosphere of Shohei Ohtani's caliber. So this is massive. This is massive for everybody involved. And I do expect the deal to go down eventually, but there's no rush. I mean, he knows he's going to get his money. He's going to be on an opening day roster, wherever it be. So he's going to get his money. He's going to get paid. He's just waiting for everything to iron itself out. And we're the fools. We're the fools that are looking and waiting and scratching and clawing for every piece of information we could find online.
Yeah, and the only thing that, I guess the negative of him not signing early is that As a fan, the winter meetings might be a little bit less active than we may have thought regarding trades if everyone's waiting for Ohtani. But honestly, at this point, I'm just enjoying the moment and the fact that the Jays are finalists. So take your time, just don't make it too long. And this is from Hector Gomez as well. If you take into account what he has to say, he has the Jays #1 as front runners for Ohtani with Dodgers #2. So take that as you will. Gomez he's hit or miss. He predicted the Juan Soto trade last season before it happened with the Padres. He did get that right. We did include that in yesterday's video. So he has been very accurate. And Peter, well, that'll transition into a second. Do you have a quick final thought before we move on to the Juan Soto trades?
I just want to show that first screenshot that you showed over there, the Bob Nightingale report.
Okay.
So let's look at this last sentence here. If the Blue Jays don't appear in a World Series before they depart, the front office will be looking for work. And they're talking about Vladdy and Bo hitting free agency. So the Jays have this 2-year window. And we've been talking about this ad nauseum, Nick. This 2-year window for them to get something done here. And I think the front office in question of Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro, they acknowledge this. If they can't get something done in 2 years of significance, and I'm talking about an ALCS appearance, I'm talking about a World Series appearance.
A playoff win to start.
Yes, because that was the level set. That was the level of expectation that was set going into these past few years with this current core of players. And they made the free agent signings to make that happen. Kevin Gausman became a Blue Jay. George Springer, one of the best players in the league at the time of his signing that contract, he was one of the best players in the league as well. So we're looking at that and we're saying something needs to happen here. This has been a monumental failure over the past couple of seasons, and they need to have some success sooner rather than later. And the time is ticking. They have 2 years to get it done because there's no contract agreed upon between Bo and the front office, and there's no contract agreed upon between Vladdy and the front office. So if you lose those two guys, they're your top 2 guys as it stands right now. And the time is ticking, and you got to get something done. So the front office feels the heat. The fan base is feeling the heat, and I do expect something massive to happen. Don't know whether it's Ohtani or Soto, but something huge is inbound, and we're going to be here for it every step of the way.
Yeah, and let's get into the Soto stuff, which we made a video, Peter, last night breaking the news from Hector Gomez. He's basically came out and said that Soto was a front runner to go to the Toronto Blue Jays, and again, I didn't include it. I found it out after we read the video. He predicted and reported, I should say, the Soto to Padres trade before the other reporters did, apparently. So he has sources within that. And then Andy Martino also echoed this last night, saying it has been a quiet day between the Padres and Yankees. Rivals see Toronto as a real contender, but believe they are waiting to see if they're getting Ohtani, Peter. Admire that sentence for a second, and then could still pick up for the Yankees. Now, Andy Martino is a reliable reporter. He is not a guy who makes stuff up. He is reliable, and Peter, rivals see Toronto as a contender, and that's the key here. That's what, he is a reliable reporter, and that's what usually they say. They're getting this intel from the rivals. So rivals see Toronto as a real contender for Shohei Ohtani, or for Soto and Ohtani at this point. And then Hector Gomez also echoed that, who's reliable. Peter, this Soto stuff is starting to come to fruition a little bit. Is it scary? A little bit. Maybe a little bit scary, depending what the package will be, but all signs are indicating that Juan Soto, at least the Toronto Blue Jays, are desperately trying to make a trade for him. Multiple reports now, and Hector Gomez as well, who also has the Jays as frontrunners for Ohtani. This sentence blows my mind. Rivals see Toronto. It doesn't make any sense. If you would have said this to me when the Jays got eliminated, I don't know what happened. I think it just echoes what you just said. Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro, Ross Atkins' job is on the line. It's simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've earned that opportunity. They're big spenders, and they haven't been cheap with their money in previous off seasons. They've been slowly trying to build the culture and trying to get rid of the stigma that free agents don't want to come to Toronto, that it's not a good place to play. Every player that has come through these doors, the Toronto Blue Jays, that is, they love it. They love the fan base. They love the love that they get throughout the city, and they acknowledge that it's a great place to play baseball. There's few better places to play baseball than in Toronto and in that Rogers Center. I mean, it's electric when it gets packed. It's usually packed on most nights, and the fan base is starving for a winner right here. So the way that we've been talking and the reports that we've been reading, Nick, we have been promised one of these two guys, and I believe that the Toronto Blue Jays are being super aggressive in their pursuit of both of them. Shohei Ohtani, I'm sure they're still beating the doors off that. They're still trying to get Shohei Ohtani. And I have a feeling that they might. They have a legitimate chance, and he knows that too. He knows that this is a good situation. It's a good place to play and elevate his brand even further. So he's looking at that as a potential suitor. And if they don't get him,
pivot,
then Juan Soto is a legit possibility as well. So they're trying to make something big happen. They're being very aggressive because they are feeling the heat, and the fan base is starving for success. They're starving for superstars, and it's a city that can sustain all that attention, and they will sustain it. Look what happened with Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors in 2019. I mean, that's a team that was one piece away. They got their piece, and the rest is history. And I think it's going to be the same story if the Blue Jays manage to land one of those two guys. They're one piece away, one superstar piece away, and I could see both of them happening.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous to even think about that, which is funny because it's fairly likely that we get one of these two guys, especially with the way Ross Atkins has been speaking. And if you're a Blue Jays fan, let's just all enjoy this brief moment of, I don't know, it feels phenomenal. Who knows what'll happen? I think we have a very, very good chance of landing Shohei Ohtani. I also think there's going to be tons of reports coming out over the next 48 hours, so stay tuned for that. We'll probably be uploading a lot depending on what reports come out, especially going into next week, because that's when I suspect stuff to actually pick up. But Peter, hopefully all of this is not for nothing and that we actually get one of these guys. I think it's going to happen. I don't know who yet, but I will say one thing. I think the Dodgers fans, based on what I can see, are getting a little bit worried about the Toronto Blue Jays coming in and scooping up Shohei Ohtani, and a lot of reporters as well. John Heyman is reluctantly adding Blue Jays into his reports. But any final thoughts before we wrap it up there?
Yeah, it's a nervous time. It's a nervous time, but this is what we become fans for. It's to earn the right to be nervous. And we earn the right when the Blue Jays get into the playoffs. We get nervous before every game, before every pitch, before every moment. And now we're getting nervous in the offseason because we desperately want to see this team take that leap that we've been promised for the past few years here. So I think it's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen. And it's just super exciting, super nerve-wracking as well, but stay tuned because we'll have you covered every step of the way.
Yeah, if you want to see our video from yesterday, click on your screen now, and hopefully we'll see you sooner than later. We have no idea when because report could drop any minute. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you soon.